Welcome everyone, TheDailyWoo here. As the recording of this, it is Saturday, April 5th, 2025. This is the 8-year anniversary of an event that happened to me 8 years ago to this very moment. Universal Orlando, Universal Studios Florida, I believe is what it was originally called. The Ride the Movies campaign, I love that era. Opened shortly after Disney MGM Studios. Timeline of me not being allowed to go to Universal Orlando. I never have talked about this. The last time I ever mentioned it publicly was 8 years ago when I went to the opening. It was the grand opening of the Jimmy Fallon Ride Through New York attraction. The Rock was there. I never was able to go on that ride. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but have not. That's been open 8 years. I was there, and because what I assume, I was never given an actual definite answer on why, I was told I had to leave and was not allowed to come back. I got a trespass warning, which I will show when I get back to my homestead. I still have it in a file. But I'm assuming it was because I filmed inside the former empty Nickelodeon studios. And then also on the same day, these were over on the TheDailyWoo channel. This is TheDailyWoo. Back when I was doing 2 channels, now I just have TheDailyWoo. Same day, I was with a producer friend of mine who is still in the industry. And before I start, I'm not going to give any names, but before I start talking about him, I called him and I discussed it, and I said, do you mind if I bring this up? It's been 8 years. A lot of people don't even realize I can't go because today is also the opening of Epic Universe, the unofficial media event. Now, I do not do media events, even if I was able to go. Would not be there today. I'm more of a going when the park opens kind of person. That was that way with Galaxy's Edge, opening events. I'm just more of a pay my way in, go kind of person. That's just the way I've always approached things. But I got to thinking, 8 years, when is the cutoff point? Or is there going to be a cutoff point? Because I've never been given an answer. I've never talked to a physical human being other than the security that day that told me, pulled me backstage, explained that they needed me to leave. Now granted, also, I'm inviting you to join me as I discuss this. Shall you? It really is amazing. It's been 8 years. 8 years. And to be honest, I haven't even thought about this for probably the last 4 years. I'm going to get on mini margin and drive around my glorified golf cart here through town. Before getting into it, I really am amazed how quickly time goes by. It's just incredible in my mind that 8 years has passed. In 2 more years, it'll be a decade. I mean, I'm even willing to wait 2 more years, as long as I just know what's going on. 2012 was definitely a different time on YouTube, different time in my life. A lot of the decisions I made, they say the internet is forever, I would not make today. I would handle things a little bit differently. I think one thing I would definitely change was how I presented and showed both of those now extinct and gone places. Really not the best videos. The Nickelodeon video, still online, 10 minutes long. I can't even watch it. It's just so cringe, so bad. If I knew that all of this was going to be whirlwinded from that, I would have definitely shown more, presented it better. It's hard to go back and watch early on videos, and that's not a good one. Other than that, I can't say I regret anything that I've done over the life. You always learn from your experiences. You learn from your good decisions, bad decisions, mistakes. It's just, it's just an interesting how the timeline went on it. So I did some backstage exploring at Disney World, late 2010, 2011, and 2012. And then into Universal. The difference is, with Universal, I technically had permission, which I'm not sure when 8 years ago, when they pulled me aside and made me leave and handed me the paperwork, that they knew that that was the case. Now granted, I probably wasn't supposed to film inside those buildings, but I definitely did not sneak in, did not break in, and I walked in with a lanyard along with my buddy who was renting out the facility. His company was, and that's how I got into both places. To be completely honest, I am very grateful, content, happy, and forever blessed that I am able to go back to Walt Disney World, because the rules that were broken there probably should not have fallen on their good graces again. And I was shocked after 2.5 years. I had a lawyer send a letter, and they approved it and said, come on back, don't do it again. I have not done that again, and everything seems to be fine. Now, after I was let back in 2.5 years, early 2013, was told I was not allowed to go to Disney World anymore. Crushed me, just pulled the heart out of my chest, stomped on it. I thought, this is my youth, this is my core memories, and I'm never allowed to be here. So being able to go back in summer-ish of 2015, amazing. And I've been going ever since. Been going to Universal Hollywood many, many years, been an annual pass holder out there. Now, after I went in the Nickelodeon and did the Jurassic walkthrough encounter, I can't remember what it was called, the Triceratops encounter, which was the same day. And because I had the lanyard, and because producer Finn was with me, he had a lanyard also. And after we did Nickelodeon, he goes, is there anywhere else in the park that you would like to go? We have permission to go anywhere, even backstage, and film, because my company is renting out for quite a price the studio where Nickelodeon used to be. So I said, oh yeah, let's go check out the old dinosaur thing. So we went back there. There was a guard. We walked through the shrubs, and they go, oh, no guests allowed back here. And then showed the lanyard. It was kind of like Wayne's World, you know, both of us. And he said, oh, you have credentials? Come on in. So I went in, filmed in front of the guard and producer friend, uploaded the Nickelodeon video, I think the next day or maybe a day after that, and then a couple days later on the main channel, the TheDailyWoo channel, put up the dinosaur walkthrough. Fast forward 5 years, not quite 5 years, that was July of 2012, and then 8 years ago, which would be April 2017, after being a pass holder for 5 years at Universal Orlando, going to all the horror nights leading up to there, I might have missed 1 year, constantly at Horror HHN Orlando, also buying the annual pass or the seasonal pass for HHN. I probably was in the park hundreds of times, nothing was ever said. And then the day Jimmy Fallon, did I say Jimmy Kimmel earlier? Jimmy Fallon, The Rock was there, and I guess because there was so many, you know, corporate execs there, someone noticed, said, that's that guy. And they escorted me out, gave me the paperwork, and I'm assuming, again, I've never gotten an answer on why, if it was because of Nickelodeon. I mean, I think that's what it is, if I was a betting man. But was never told, this is permanent, this is forever, what to do about possibly talking to someone about getting back in, if there's ever a grace period or a cutoff point. I don't know if 8 years is long enough, if I've proven myself. But I wanted to put that out there. There's a lot of people are asking when and if and why I'm not at Epic, and if I'm ever going to go to Epic. And the answer currently right now is no. Now, I am allowed to go to Universal Hollywood, I guess 2 separate parent companies, and just like when I wasn't allowed to Walt Disney World, I was allowed to go to Disneyland, which I was really nervous about going to Disneyland the first few times when I wasn't allowed at Walt Disney World. I thought the same fate was going to happen there, but evidently, different coast, and they just think differently when it's, even though you've been chastised on one coast, the other coast is a little more lenient, and evidently that goes well for me currently at Universal Hollywood. And I always have a soft spot for Universal Hollywood. I love it. Lived in LA for many, many years, and I will continue to go to Universal Hollywood to all the events and HHN. But buying a house here in Celebration a year and 3 or 4 months ago, a little over a year ago, it got me thinking, what does the future hold? Again, this is not something that really is on my mind. The only reason I'm thinking about it is just simply because I'm seeing everyone post getting into Epic today. And I must be honest, let's say if something happened, let's say in 2 years, let's say in 2 years they're like, it's been 10 years. Let's talk about it. I can wait 2 years, 10 years. The first thing I would do is not go to Epic Universe. I would go straight to the ET attraction and ride ET. And I would go look at the Back to the Future 3 train. And I would just walk around the original park and be grateful. But ET would be the one. I would probably not even go to Epic Universe for a little while. Even the Monsters things looks kind of neat, but just being back in the original park. Again, this is all hypothetical if that will ever happen. And I kind of wish I would get an abrupt no from something or someone. It's almost as if there's no contact. I can't get any contact. And I have never gotten an answer on why or when this could change or if it will change. Never, ever did I think I'd get back into Walt Disney World, and that happened. And after I got back from Disney World, it was after that is when I was told I can't go to Universal Orlando anymore. It was after 2.5 years of not being at Disney World. So going back into Universal, I thought, oh, it must be fine. I was never really as concerned with the Universal aspect as I was with Disney World. I will say, the Disney World stuff, far wilder than Universal, in my opinion. The Disney stuff, I was going off the rails for a while. Again, this is the only time I've ever talked about this or mentioned it since that day. Obviously, I do a daily vlog, so when it happened, I was getting kicked out of the park, talked about it then. But since then, with the exception of maybe replying to 1 or 2 comments, I have never ever spoken of this publicly, online, video form, any kind of social media post, anything. But I have been asked pretty often the last few days when I'm going to be going to Epic. I'm not. I also won't harp on this anymore. I won't talk about this anymore. Unless something changes, everything from here on out will be behind the scenes. If or there is any contact, to get this figured out, it'll all be off the record. Unless I get a note, unless I'm told it's never happening, and then I'll obviously announce it's never happening. Or maybe in a year or two, you'll see me walking through the gates, walking past the new globe. I'm old school. I remember the globe that was supposedly moved to Universal Hollywood, the one that used to sit in front. Now it's a different globe. Things have changed in 8 years. I don't even know what it's like there. I really don't. It's been a while. Yeah, so just to reiterate, the answer is no. I will not be going to the new expansion, the third gate, if you will, of Universal Orlando. Continue to go to Universal Hollywood, as long as they'll have me, which I see no issues there. I just wanted to clear up the timeline, the confusion, and let a lot of people know who maybe didn't see the events from 8 years ago transpire through video form. Just so you know that's what happened. That's why I don't go to Universal Orlando. That's why I don't go to Islands of Adventure. And why I won't be going to Epic Universe. Now, if I could snap my fingers and reverse the decision, I would do that. If I had a genie that could make a wish. Again, I would probably go back in time and redo that monstrosity of a horribly cringy video of Nickelodeon. I would present something a little bit better. Would I change my thought process and not do it? No, I'd probably still do it. And take my licks. Would I do it now? Absolutely not. Did I do it then? And do I regret it? I did it, and I don't regret it. I just wish I wouldn't have done it in such a bad fashion. Garbage. 10-minute video, I think, has 1.7 million views. That has just detained me from being able to go to a local park that I would definitely frequent on a semi-regular basis when I'm in town, that I had a lot of memories at. And I guess I could probably, the best thing would have been to maybe be a little more transparent about how I got in. But, you know, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, especially then, get anyone else in trouble. And that's why I put it all upon myself, even though there's someone with me. That's about it. That's all I wanted to discuss, kind of short and sweet. And I'm fine with any decision if no decision's ever made. It just is what it is. I've been used to it the last 8 years without hearing anything back. I will also say, so I did hear back the first couple years. In fact, the lawyer that sent a letter to Disney World, and they sent a letter back to him, and he goes, hey, I got this. I still have that on file also of Walt Disney World saying, you're welcome back. Please listen to cast members and follow the rules and do not go into any areas that there are signs saying you're not supposed to go into. Do not go backstage anymore. And I have stuck by those rules. So after that happened, and then the Universal decision was made, after I was let back into Disney, I had the same lawyer send a letter. For the first couple of years, was denied, and then haven't tried since. I take that back. I think I tried on the 4th year also, but since then, I don't think I've tried since then. Just to clarify, I believe in punishment. I believe when you do something that is frowned upon, there could be repercussions. I'm not saying that I don't understand the decision. But I just wonder if 8 years is enough. Is 8 years enough? Is 10 years enough? I feel rehabilitation in 8 years can be done. 10 years especially. I'm thinking 10 years. Will ET still be open in 2 more years? That's all I want. I want to go on that attraction one day, if it ever happens. If it doesn't, I can live with it. But if it ever happens, I just want to hear those words. Welcome home. You've arrived. The problem is, I don't think you're allowed to film. I think it's against the rules to film on ET, or at least it was 8 years ago. Maybe they've changed it. What if I got let back? I'm thinking hypothetically. What if I got back in, and then the first day I was tempted to film on ET, and then I got re-trespassed? Dang. I wouldn't be able to film on ET, because if not, that's breaking the rules. I just have to write it and to talk about it. Maybe I could get... I'm thinking as if I'm going to get back in. I'm not going to get back in. Why so sad, Minions? Also, I'm going to be leaving town very soon, Minions. So I will not be here for Easter. I know you're in your Easter best outfits here. You're in your bunny outfits. I will not be in town for Easter. I'll be leaving soonish to depart for California for a day, and then one day layover, and then I'm going to an international destination. Don't be sad, Minions. It's okay, I'm not sad. Just giving the timeline, just giving the info. You gonna still stay sad? I know. I miss you here in Orlando too, Minion. I'll see you in the next video, Minion. And everyone else, the vlog is over. Bonus footage. I guess I should show City of Orlando Police Department. The trespass warning. This is the bottom portion of it here, saying, was warned in their presence to stay off the property located at Universal Orlando, 1000 Universal Studios Plaza, Orlando, Florida, 32819. To include, see, it doesn't have an end date. To include Universal Studios, City Walk, parking, Islands of Adventure, resort hotels, and all capitalized underlined Universal Orlando property. Taking that to mean Epic also. I mean, it's getting so dated that it's getting worn out. But you can see right there, 4/5/17. I mean, it's getting so faded. I need to take a photo of this so I actually have all the info. Because it's just going to keep getting worn down. 8 years ago to the date, it was at noon, according to this. And here's all the information here. Reason, okay, here's the reason. In unauthorized area. That's the reason. In unauthorized area. Oh, here we go. Indefinite. Okay, that's the answer. 4/5/17 indefinite. I guess that means, I don't know, eternally. Okay, that clarifies that. Well, indefinite, does that mean forever? Or does that just mean until a change is made? How do I get a change made? 4/5/17. Again, it's just very unusual that it is the same day of the Epic previews. 8 years. It's like this day means something in the space-time continuum. Or it could just be an incredible coincidence.